Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are going to completely transform how you approach studying, working, or really any task that demands deep focus. I mean, have you ever wondered why you can just endlessly scroll on your phone for hours without even breaking a sweat, but looking at a textbook for 10 minutes feels like literal physical torture? Well, it all comes down to decoding your brain's biology. We're going to break down the exact science of why this happens, and then we'll give you a proven framework to rewire your brain for intense, unbreakable focus. So let's just dive right into this with a question that might sound, honestly, completely impossible. Can your brain actually treat studying and scrolling the exact same way? Now, I know your immediate reaction is probably, no way. Those are two entirely different things. But here is the fascinating reality. Your brain actually doesn't know the difference. It doesn't categorize activities into productive or unproductive buckets. No, it's just chasing one single, incredibly powerful chemical, dopamine. Think about it. Every single time you check Instagram, watch a quick YouTube short, or fire up a video game, your brain gets this massive spike of dopamine. It hits fast, it requires absolutely zero effort on your part, and, well, it feels incredibly good. But now look at the contrast. When you sit down to study, your brain instantly compares that activity to the easy gratification of scrolling. Because studying releases a much lower, much slower drip of dopamine, your brain literally screams out, okay, this is so boring. I'd way rather be on my phone right now. But listen, here's the absolute most important takeaway today. It is neither your fault nor the brain's fault. Seriously, I really want you to internalize this. Your struggle to focus, it's not a lack of willpower. You aren't just lazy. Your brain is simply doing exactly what it was biologically designed to do through thousands of years of human evolution. It is constantly scanning for the activity that gives it the absolute highest amount of dopamine for the lowest possible effort. So before we can actually fix the problem, we need to correct a massive misconception. Most people think dopamine is just about pleasure, but in reality, it's the chemical of anticipation and reward prediction. It is not just about that good feeling you get when you achieve something, it's the craving, it's the drive that actually pushes you toward that reward in the first place. Slowing down and shifting our focus to this specific idea of anticipation is the absolute scientific secret to taking back control of your focus. All right, so let's get into the solution, the dopamine loading method. This is a brilliant, scientifically backed technique specifically designed to rewire those ingrained biological pathways we just talked about. And the best part? It doesn't rely on forcing yourself to work or completely draining your limited willpower. Instead, it systematically trains your brain so that it genuinely becomes addicted to the act of studying and problem solving. This method works in 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 is deprivation, creating a dopamine deficit. Phase 2 is priming, setting up your brain. And Phase 3 is harvesting, manually injecting rewards. So let's start right at the beginning with deprivation. Okay, Phase 1, deprivation. This requires exactly 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm not kidding, these are the absolute most critical minutes of your entire study session. Before you even think about opening a book or looking at a screen, you must spend exactly 15 to 20 minutes intentionally lowering your brain's dopamine baseline. That means engaging in absolutely zero dopamine-inducing activities. The rules for this phase are incredibly strict, guys. No phone, no music, complete silence. Just you embracing the discomfort. And let me be totally clear here. Your brain is going to absolutely hate this. It will feel incredibly uncomfortable because your brain is so used to constant, endless stimulation. But this exact moment of pure boredom and silence, that's exactly where the magic happens. You're intentionally creating a dopamine deficit. You're pulling your brain down from that artificially high, phone-induced baseline right back to a natural, lower state. Once that baseline is finally reset, we move smoothly into Phase 2, priming. And this one only takes 2 minutes. Literally, right before you open your textbook, you're going to sit for 2 minutes and actively visualize your upcoming study session. Picture yourself deeply focused. Visualize yourself reading the concepts, actually understanding them, and successfully solving the complex problems sitting in front of you. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why Phase 2 works so well. Predicting the reward triggers the dopamine release before you even start. Because remember, dopamine is the chemical of anticipation. When you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain actually predicts that a reward is coming, so it starts releasing dopamine early. This creates a natural drive and craving to actually do the work. It literally creates the perfect motivated state to finally open that book and begin. Which leads us perfectly into our final step, Phase 3, harvesting. You've lowered your baseline, you've primed your anticipation, and now you're actually studying. But how do you sustain that focus for hours on end? Well, you do it through manual dopamine injection. You have to actively give your brain these small, carefully controlled rewards throughout your study session to keep it engaged and satisfied, but without completely overwhelming it. To do this safely, you're going to work in blocks. For every 25 minutes of focus, take a strict 2-minute break. During this time, you should do things like stretch your legs, take a really short walk, or just grab a drink of water. These peaceful little activities signal to your brain that studying is safe and it's not overly difficult. But crucially, and this is a big one, you must avoid the traps. No scrolling, no checking your phone. Absolutely zero high dopamine activities. If you touch your phone, you instantly spike that baseline right back up, and your deep focus is completely shattered. Now for the reality check, the 5-day habit challenge. Look, everything I've just explained is 100% scientifically proven to work. But just knowing the science, that isn't enough. You actually have to execute it over a 5-day timeline. You absolutely must survive this initial transition period if you want to see permanent life-changing results. I'm not going to lie to you, days 1 through 3 are going to be incredibly hard. You're going to face some intense high resistance because your brain is basically acting like an addict. It wants its easy, instant dopamine back right now. This is the exact moment where most people just give up and quit. But if you push through that friction, an amazing shift happens on days 4 and 5. Your brain's baseline completely resets. The resistance naturally fades away, and miraculously, the act of studying actually becomes deeply satisfying. When you reach that reset state, a massive shift happens. Solving a complex problem will start to feel just like winning a video game. You're no longer going to need to rely on sheer brute force willpower just to open your books. You will actually want to study. By sticking to this dopamine loading method, you'll have successfully trained your brain to extract a huge sense of reward and deep satisfaction directly from productive activities instead of relying on mindless scrolling. Which brings us to a final provocative question to end this explainer. Will you protect your new dopamine baseline? Because once you complete this 5-day challenge and achieve this incredible level of focus, you really have to guard it. If you just fall right back into the trap of endless high dopamine loops, you're going to erase all of this hard-earned progress. Now, don't worry about being completely perfect on day 1. Just commit to the process. Start your 15 minutes of deprivation today, take back control of your biology, and I challenge you, are you ready to start your 5-day challenge right now?